Deep within the world, nestled amongst towering trees and shimmering rivers, lay the Enchanted Forest. It was a place of wonder and magic, where mythical creatures roamed and ancient secrets whispered on the wind. The forest held many treasures, but none were as sought after as the phoenix's feather, a magical object said to grant any wish. Many had ventured into the forest in search of the feather, but none had returned. The forest was as dangerous as it was beautiful, filled with challenges that tested the bravest of hearts. Yet, the legend of the feather continued to lure dreamers and adventurers, promising untold riches and unimaginable power. One day, a young tailor named Finn dared to dream of finding the phoenix's feather. Unlike the knights and wizards who had attempted the quest before him, Finn was armed with nothing but his wits, his courage, and a needle as sharp as his mind. Finn was not driven by greed or a thirst for power. He was a kind and gentle soul who simply wished to bring happiness to his village, which had fallen on hard times. Finn believed that the phoenix's feather, with its wish-granting magic, was the answer to their prayers. One starlit night, Finn decided to embark on his quest. He packed a small bag with some bread, cheese, and his trusty needle and thread. As he left his small cottage, the village elders cautioned him about the perils that lay ahead. Finn listened intently, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. He knew the journey would be fraught with danger, but he was determined to succeed. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Finn stepped into the Enchanted Forest, ready to face whatever lay before him. The forest welcomed Finn with a symphony of sounds, chirping birds, rustling leaves, and the gurgling of the river. The air was thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. As Finn ventured deeper, the path became increasingly treacherous. He soon encountered his first challenge. A giant spider web spun across the path, glistening like silver in the dappled sunlight. A monstrous spider, its 8 eyes glinting menacingly, guarded its web, waiting for unsuspecting prey. Finn's heart pounded in his chest, but he knew he had to act quickly. Remembering an old tale about spiders disliking vibrations, Finn grabbed a fallen branch and began to rhythmically tap the ground. The vibrations startled the spider, sending it scurrying away in fear. Finn had overcome his first obstacle with his quick thinking. His confidence boosted, Finn continued on his journey. The path led him to a rushing river, its waters sparkling under the midday sun. However, the river was too wide to jump across, and there was no bridge in sight. The sound of the rushing water filled Finn's ears as he paced along the riverbank, desperately searching for a way to cross. Just when his hope began to dwindle, Finn spotted a group of playful otters frolicking in the water. Remembering their playful nature and intelligence, Finn had an idea. He carefully crafted a small raft from twigs and leaves, using his needle and thread to bind it together. Approaching the otters cautiously, Finn offered them pieces of his bread, which they eagerly accepted. With gentle gestures, he showed them the raft and pointed to the other side of the river. To his delight, the otters understood. They played with the raft, pushing it along as they swam and guided it safely to the opposite bank. Finn had once again relied on his cleverness and kindness to overcome a challenge. As Finn delved deeper into the heart of the Enchanted Forest, the air grew heavy with a strange and unsettling silence. The once lively forest seemed to hold its breath, anticipating something unknown. The silence was suddenly broken by a deafening roar that shook the trees around him. Finn froze, his blood turning to ice in his veins. A magnificent lion with a mane like fire emerged from the undergrowth, blocking Finn's path. Its eyes, like golden orbs, stared at Finn, making his heart pound in his chest. Remembering the stories of lions being prideful creatures, Finn stood tall and met the lion's gaze. He took a deep breath and let out the loudest, most ferocious roar he could muster. The lion, taken aback by the unexpected show of bravery from such a small creature, let out a startled snort. It lowered its head slightly, acknowledging Finn's courage, and stepped aside, allowing him to pass. Finn had faced his fear and emerged victorious. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Finn reached a clearing bathed in a warm, ethereal light. In the center stood a magnificent tree, its branches reaching towards the heavens like outstretched arms. This was no ordinary tree. Its bark shimmered with an otherworldly glow, and its leaves were 1,000 shades of gold and crimson. Perched on one of the branches, its feathers ablaze with fire, was the legendary phoenix. The creature was even more awe-inspiring than Finn had imagined. Its eyes sparkled with ancient wisdom, and its mere presence filled the air with a sense of peace and tranquility. As Finn approached, his heart filled with reverence. The phoenix turned its head towards him. It spread its wings, sending a shower of sparks into the air, and in that moment, a single fiery feather gently detached itself and floated down towards Finn. He caught it gently in his hand, his heart overflowing with joy and gratitude. He had finally found the phoenix's feather. Holding the phoenix's feather, Finn felt a surge of warmth and energy flow through him. It was as if the feather itself was pulsating with magic, waiting for him to make his wish. He closed his eyes, picturing his village, his friends and neighbors, their faces etched with worry and despair. "I wish for happiness and prosperity for my village," he whispered, pouring all his love and hope into the words. The feather glowed brightly, and Finn felt a wave of peace wash over him. He knew, with unshakable certainty, that his wish had been granted. With a heart full of gratitude, Finn thanked the phoenix and turned to begin his journey home. He knew that the villagers would be overjoyed to see him return, not only safe and sound, but also carrying the answer to their prayers. His heart was light, his steps filled with purpose. As he made his way out of the Enchanted Forest, the phoenix's feather safely tucked away in his pocket. News of Finn's successful quest spread like wildfire. People from far and wide flocked to the village, eager to witness the return of the hero who had dared to venture into the Enchanted Forest and returned victorious. The village, once shrouded in worry, was now bursting with joy and celebration. The king, hearing tales of Finn's bravery and kindness, summoned him to the castle. He was so impressed by Finn's humility and selflessness that he offered him a position of honor, to be the royal tailor. Finn, though surprised by the offer, graciously accepted. He knew that this position would allow him to use his skills to bring joy to others, and he was determined to serve the king and his kingdom with the same loyalty and dedication he had shown on his quest. From that day forward, Finn became known throughout the land as not only the bravest tailor in the kingdom, but also the kindest. Life in the castle was a whirlwind of activity, but Finn never forgot his humble beginnings or the friends he had left behind in the village. He often visited, bringing news from the castle and sharing stories of his adventures. The villagers, in turn, showered him with love and gratitude, their faces beaming with pride. Finn's tale became a beloved legend, passed down from generation to generation. He had shown them that even the most ordinary of people could achieve extraordinary things with courage, kindness, and a little bit of magic. And so, Finn, the brave little tailor, lived happily ever after, his name forever etched in the heart of the Enchanted Forest, and in the hearts of the people he had so bravely served. His story served as a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that even in the darkest of times, courage and kindness could light the way.